Hello everybody. Welcome back to your last video for the week here, week one in our new existence, remote learning. I miss seeing your faces, but I'm enjoying doing math again, so I hope you are a little bit. We are again in week one, so this is video 2 for our B concept for the week. This is going to be setting you up for your practice problems number 4, which again has 4 problems in Khan Academy. So what this is going to be all about, we've been talking about sine, cosine, tangent in a right triangle. So now we are going to apply this, or we are going to model some situations. So this is going to be modeling with right triangles. Right triangles. All right, so modeling with right triangles, or right triangle trig. So this is going to be word problems, or story problems, or applications, however you choose to think about it. Okay, so our first one, I'm not going to take the time to, I'm going to do 2 with you here on this video. So I'm not going to take the time to write this down, but I figured as long as I'm drawing and talking, we should be okay. Let's say that we have a flagpole. So I've got some sort of a flagpole. I don't know. Here's the flag. Maybe it's an EL flag. Oh man, I made that flag too small. All right, so here's our flagpole. Let's say that this flagpole, of course, is going to be posted up on the ground. Let's say that this is a 12-meter flagpole. And it, of course, is inserted into the ground, so maybe it's our flagpole outside of the school. We are going to assume that the flagpole meets the ground at a right angle. We know that this flagpole is going to be casting a shadow. Okay, wait a second. Where do you see your shadow? Yeah, you see your shadow on the ground. So let's say that it casts a shadow, and the shadow is only 9 meters. That's the end of your shadow. Okay, so the question is, if here's the shadow, that means that our sun has to be somewhere over here. It is a beautiful sunny day out there today, although it was snowing a little bit. You can see some shadows here on my paper. So the question is, what is the angle of elevation of the sun? So there's my sun, more or less. We'll make it bigger. So we're looking for this angle of elevation. Now in your practice problems, most of the picture is already drawn for you. So we're going to be looking for that angle. These are what I like to call fake story problems because the picture is already drawn. But this year we're going to be okay with that. So if I'm looking at this, again, I need to go back to that SOHCAHTOA. I always write it down because if I write it down, then I don't actually have to think about it. I can just look at it. So again, we're missing an angle, just like our last video. So that means we're going to consider our sides. So compared to this angle that we're missing, which 2 pieces do I have? So this 12 is all the way on the opposite side of the triangle. And the 9 is adjacent to the angle. So you can see we're missing that hypotenuse, which means we're not going to use this one, and we're not going to use this one. So that means that we are left with tangent of that angle, which is going to help us solve this particular mystery. So I've got tangent of my missing angle. Now, I've just given it a question mark, so can't I just use a question mark? Yeah, why not? So tangent of something is going to be opposite. So I've got my 12 meters divided by my 9 meters. All right, so once again, the thing we're missing is the angle, which means how do we undo tangent? Inverse tangent. You guys don't even have to write this step down anymore. Just pop that right into your Desmos. See what pops out. We're looking for a decent angle measure. So let me fire up my phone here. Test mode, start test. Yes, I want to lock it because of all those awkward twits and tweets and, you know. Okay, so now I'm going to look at inverse tangent. So I'm going back to functions, inverse tangent. Again, these are skills we've been working on, but just in a more applied method. So I'm looking for an angle measurement of about 53 degrees, which makes sense to me. That looks like a good angle measurement. On this particular one, be a little bit careful. Your practice problems online are going to be, you're going to be missing your angle, some kind of degrees. And this one is actually going to ask you for the nearest tenth. It actually goes back and forth. Some of them are tenths and some of them are hundredths. So be careful. I was doing them and I was rounding incorrectly. So I've got to go out only one decimal place, which means I'm looking at that hundredths, which is a 3. So I'm going to keep that at 53.1 degrees. And that's what I would answer if I were doing that practice problem. So the angle of elevation is going to be 53.1 degrees with the ground in order to make that shadow. Okay, so let's do another one. We got one more application. It's not really a beautiful day out there today, but it was yesterday here in April. So let's say that you're flying a kite. You're flying a kite and it gets caught in a tree, because that's what happens to me when I fly a kite. So flying a kite that gets caught in a tree. Okay, so I'm gonna draw a tree. Do not laugh at me. That is not fair. There's my tree. Okay, well, the tree can't just be hovering. Tree's got to be on the ground. All right, so here is our assumed right angle. We know that you are flying the kite and your string, let's say you got your foot on the string, because you had to put your foot on the string in order to get your phone so that you could take a picture of the ridiculous situation that you're in, because you guys have to document everything. So here's your cute little kite. We'll make your kite orange. Why not? All right, so your kite is stuck in that tree. You now have your foot on it. Here's you. Here's you. There's your foot. This is your face and your phone. All right, so you have your foot on it. You know that you've let out 100 feet of kite string because you are way down at the end, and you know that that was what was available to you. You also know, because you have your handy dandy clinometer on you, that the angle that this makes with the ground is 75 degrees. I'm sure there's an app for that. So you've already figured that out with your app, because that is what you do because you're wonderful. So you're trying to figure out, oh my gosh, how high up is that kite? So this is the thing that you're missing. We don't know what that is. Okay, let's call it X, or maybe question mark, who knows? Okay, so this time I have my angle. I'm missing a side, but I have another side. So this is gonna go back to a couple days ago. But once again, we've got our right triangle. So I'm gonna start thinking about what pieces do I have. Here's my angle. You know me, I like to mark things. Okay, well, I'm thinking about 3 things. I'm thinking about opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. So here I've got all the way over there. There's my opposite piece that I don't know. This one, what do I know is special? It is adjacent, but it's also, the right angle is staring at it, which means I'm looking at my hypotenuse. So I've got O and H, opposite and hypotenuse. I'm going right to sine. So I'm going to be dealing with sine of my angle. Oop, I know that again. Sine of my angle is 75 degrees. Is equal to opposite over hypotenuse, which is 100 feet. So this time, the thing that I don't know is I don't know that value. Okay, I'm trying to undo division. Well, how do I undo divide by 100? Multiply, inverse operations, which means I have to multiply this side. This takes me back to that first, or maybe second video. 100s divide out. Some people might say cancel, but we know they're just dividing out. All right, and away we go. Our X has been isolated. We are going to use our technology here to figure out 100 times the sine of 75 degrees. I'm looking at a height then of 96.5925. All right, so let's say that this one, I'm looking for feet. And let's say for this one, I'm looking for hundredths again. Okay, so I've got 59 and then I've got a 2, which means I am going to keep that of 59. Okay, kiddos, be very careful when you do these 4 practice problems because it's going to go back and forth between tenths and hundredths. And when I was doing the practice problems, I got a couple wrong because of it. Okay, this is the last video for the week, so have a good weekend, and I'll see you soon.